I'm Angela Sullivan. I also work at Growing Veterans. Today's video we're going to talk about bed prep. Bed prep is really important whether you're working in a small garden that you have at home or up on the farm. Our farm manager Joel Swenson is going to walk you through things that we did at Growing Veterans to prepare our beds, and then later on I'm going to tell you how you can take those same techniques and do them at your home garden.
All right, so how did we get here? Bed prep is important. It's very important for a number of reasons. It's important to have fertility in the soil. It's also important for keeping weeds down here. Well, beginning of March is when I did our primary till. And primary tilling is the first till of the year after the winter, kind of late winter, early spring, whenever you can break the ground. For us, we did it early March, which was good, but then we had a few frosts in between, and so that's sometimes not good because that can kill some beneficial fungus in the soil. But for the most part, you know, I also tilled in a cover crop, so that actually helped a ton by putting nutrients back in the soil from all that rotting vegetation. Later on, we spread compost throughout the whole field, did it by hand. Kind of grueling work, but it's very satisfying when you start seeing stuff grow. And then what we used to hill these beds up, we used it was an implement from Everything Attachments. One of our volunteers so kindly let us use it, and it was a hill maker, or a bed maker hiller. It had 2 discs and 2 shanks. The 2 shanks broke up the compacted soil from the tractor wheels, and then the discs hilled up the soil. So it was perfect for what we're going to be planting here Friday, which is going to be dark star zucchini and Costado Romanesco zucchini from Uprising Seeds. See the compost in the dirt. So we like I said, we spread the compost before we hilled it up, so that actually kind of mixed all that compost into the soil. You can top dress with compost, and that'll help reserve moisture in the soil, similar to like straw. But for us, you know, it just worked best to mix it in. That helps with drainage, and for us, you know, our soil is pretty sandy, so it does drain very quick. But just adding any organic matter that we can in there to just help with fertility, and you know, making sure we don't have standing water. Squash doesn't like that. No plants really like any sort of standing water that we grow here.
Joel just walked you through how we did some bed prep up at our farm in Linden at Growing Veterans. The first step is that in late fall we added a cover crop, which really helps to add nutrients back in the soil when you till it up. Also, it helps keep the soil intact during the really rainy season so that rainwater doesn't come and just leach all the nutrients out. That's really vital to keeping that biome under the soil nice and healthy. With worms and bacteria and fungus, you really want to make sure you nurture that so that you can have a really productive crop throughout the season. So the next step was we tilled in that cover crop in the spring using a rototiller and a tractor implement. Here at home, we put straw onto our garden in the late fall. This really helps in the similar way that the cover crop does in making sure that rainwater doesn't just leach through. It kind of slows the rate of the rainwater through the soil, and it really helps to nurture the environment down below. And if you see here, we got some really nice black soil, which is good. This is what we're looking for, full of nutrients, and there's worms and other things in there. So we keep this nice and covered up through the winter, and then in the springtime, instead of using a tiller, we use our chickens, which works really well and is also incredibly entertaining. So at the farm, we used a tractor implement to make the beds. Here at our house, in your home garden, you'd probably just use a shovel in your hands and a wheelbarrow. So we got about 5 yards of soil, we brought it in, and we just shoveled it into rows and compacted it down really nice so that when it starts to rain or when you start watering your garden, you're not going to get a bunch of erosion. And as Joel mentioned earlier, we did what's called top dressing. So we took some compost and we sprinkled it onto the top, and then again we just packed it down. So here at our house, we still like to maintain the rows just like you saw up at the farm. It just makes it a lot more manageable, easier to get into your garden, to weed, easier to know where things are planted, so it's not just a wild, crazy jungle, which is gonna increase, you know, you being able to enjoy your garden, get efficiency out of it, and just being able to stay organized. Thanks for joining us today as we talked about bed prep. If you have any other ideas or topics that you'd like to see us talk about, please let us know in the comments section below. Thank you.